Hey guys, it is MissSimReno. If you're returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you're brand new, I'm very excited that you decided to join me here today for another speed build and my 10K Q&A that has now become a 21K Q&A because I did not get around to this until like maybe a month later. I asked you guys over on the community tab to drop me some questions, which I am staring at right now in front of me. I had to scroll back like literally a month, but I wanted to do a Q&A because there were so many of you that have joined me over the past few months, and I am so grateful that you are here. I figured it would be a good opportunity for you to get to know me better and enjoy a speed build while we chat. All right, I'm just gonna go straight down what we have here. So the very first few questions are actually from Colleen. I hope I pronounced your name correctly because it does look as though the spelling is a little bit different than what I've seen before, so I apologize if I didn't say it correctly. But the first question is, are you in the design construction profession, or if you're still a student, do you plan on pursuing it? So I am not still a student. Thank God. I am done with school. I actually do have a master's degree, but none of it has to do with construction or design in any way, shape, or form. I am actually working in the world of higher education, and my bachelor's is in communications. Second question is, how do you plan your builds? Is it just choosing a lot with a theme in mind and going with the flow, or do you actually go through everything first, like sketching it before building it in The Sims? I don't sketch anything out. I'm actually, even sketching, I'm like a terrible artist. I can't draw for the life of me. I can't really plan anything, but I do plan out my builds before I actually record them, so it does take me a long time. I might plan out the shape of the build itself and kind of generally figure out where the windows are and maybe what the floor plan could look like before I even record the build, which is why it seems to come together so quickly. It's because I spent a lot of time trying to figure it out beforehand. And then Colleen's final question is, how long does it take to film a single video and build? So it kind of does depend on the build. I would say that I think I've usually spent between 4 to 6 hours on a build itself. And then with editing and all that fun stuff, it could be upwards of like 13 to 15 hours. I don't know, the range kind of usually stays the same for me, but it really does depend. I would consider doing videos definitely a part-time job with the amount of time that you spend. And I do 2 builds a week right now, including a Let's Play, so it's definitely a lot of my free time spending doing this, which I love doing, don't get me wrong. I love doing it, but yeah, it's definitely a commitment. Ivy says, you mentioned in one of your videos that you were a professor. I was curious to know what you teach. So what I do is I basically teach a course that welcomes students to college. It's really just kind of more of an orientation kind of course, but there is some practice with like college composition and research and stuff like that. Basically how to be a successful student. So it's nothing very intensive when you're thinking of like subject specific stuff. I'm not really an expert in any kind of field. So it's really just kind of orienting students to being students, especially if they haven't been in school for like a really long time. So that is what I teach. Olivia's World had a couple of questions here as well. Number one is, how did you discover The Sims? Ooh, my friends, I think it was like a family friend. They had the very first Sims game and I used to watch them play it all the time. I was 7 or 8 or something like that. I used to watch them play it and I always wanted to play. My parents did not allow me to buy The Sims. Like, I didn't have an actual Sims game of my own until The Sims 2 came out. I think my dad got me that one and I used to play it all the time. Like all the time. And then there'd be periods where I would come in and out of playing The Sims. I didn't even know when The Sims 3 or Sims 4 were released. I was not that immersed in the community at all or the news, but yeah, I have just been playing ever since The Sims 1, ever since I saw my family friend play it on their computer and I was intrigued by that heartbed. Olivia's World also asks, why did you want to start a YouTube channel and who is your favorite Sims 4 YouTuber? I wanted to start a channel and I think I've answered this question before, But I wanted to start a channel because I started building and I really wasn't that good and I wanted people's feedback. I wanted people's feedback because I wanted to get better, so I wanted to share the creations that I was excited about and see if there would be any kind of like recommendations and stuff like that. And then I just kept practicing and it was more and more fun to like talk about builds and engage with people about something that I was really passionate about. So that's what was really exciting to me. And my favorite Sims 4 YouTuber at the moment, probably Plumbella. Couldn't even say the name at first. Probably Plumbella. She's freaking hilarious. And I could never get tired of watching her videos. But I am also a huge supporter of my 2 good friends, Paul Pancakes and Rachel Pett as well. I love watching their speed builds. Tosha, again, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Tosha asks, what is the one thing you struggle with most when it comes to creating videos and building? I think it would probably be coming up with unique builds that I really like because I tend to gravitate towards the same items and the same kind of styles of buildings a lot. So I have to force myself out of my comfort zone to make new things, which is really good for me, but it is really challenging. And I also think the time aspect. I'm really bad with pronunciations. I think it's Katina. Katina asks, how many of the Sims games have you played? All of them. I have played all of them and I love them all. And also, did you like video games as a child? I did. I always wanted to play video games and I was never allowed to have a console. And I didn't have my own PC until I was, I think, middle school or high school. And I was not allowed to have like games on it or anything. It was for homework. So yeah, I've always liked video games, but I didn't really have my own to play with. So now that I'm an adult, I can play whatever I want. And I really I enjoy a lot of different video games aside from just The Sims. And then Lindsay Robinson asks, what inspired you to just edit that first video and put it out there for everyone to see? So I think that's kind of like one of the questions earlier, but it was really because I wanted feedback on my buildings. Christopher Miller asks, what is your favorite building style in The Sims? Contemporary, modern, craftsman, etc. I think I love just making, I think it's literally called like a traditional architecture style. I'm not sure. I go on architecturedesign.com all the time and try to look at the different styles to see what I even like. But I do really like craftsmen too. I think Dutch colonials though. I think Dutch colonials are probably my favorite. They're really hard and like the roofing is kind of unique. And since I'm from New England, it really reminds me of home. So I really like Dutch colonials. MediSims4 asks, how do you start this and what is the key to your success? I don't know. I have no idea. I have no clue. I always tell people if they want to start a channel or they want to do something like this, just be yourself. I think it's the best thing that you can do. And you have to be really passionate about what you're doing. And I freaking love The Sims. So that is not hard for me. Tessa asks, do you play with your Sims in your free time, not just build mode? I do. I don't play as often as I used to. I actually had a legacy that I was playing for, I think I got through 8 generations or something like that, but it wasn't literally through the lifespan of The Sims. I would speed things up to go along with the story that I was trying to tell, and I used to share it in screenshots on Twitter just for fun. But I don't play as often as I used to, but I'm starting to get into it a little bit more and exploring the game and all it has to offer because I haven't done it in so long. So I do spend some time actually in live/live mode, however you pronounce it, compared to build mode. And Freckle Simmer asks, what do you do outside of YouTube and what is your dream job? So as I mentioned, I do teach college courses and I also create college courses. So I consult with subject matter experts and I ensure that essentially information is scaffolded appropriately for learning to occur. So I create curriculum for classes, which is super fun, super hard. And my dream job is probably what I'm doing. I love my job. I worked really hard to get to where I am and I never really thought I was going to be able to get there. So that pretty much is my dream job, though I think my other dream job is to be a mom. That is definitely a job that I would like to have one day. And also, Freckle Simmer asks, what are some of your goals for YouTube? So I actually did give this some thought recently and it was kind of awkward for me to think about it because I don't know, it's really odd. I think goals are very important because it's something that you are striving for. But I also don't like setting goals on YouTube because there is only so much I can do. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't control how many people subscribe. I can't control how much money I make. I really can't control anything about it. The only thing I can control is if there's content or not. So my goal is to basically just continue to be as consistent as possible and make things that you guys enjoy and to engage with you guys. I think my real goal, like if I were to put a number on it, which is really weird to do, and I think it's kind of a stretch, but my goal is to get to 50K subscribers in the next year. That would be a very big milestone for me, and all in all, because I like to be very transparent about this stuff, it would really help me in the long run. I think it would really help me and my family out. So that would be my goal, and I think, like I said, outside of that, it's really just to continue what I'm doing and to ensure that my passion for the game and what I'm doing stays intact as well. I try not to look at numbers. I try not to engage with those kind of conversations a lot too, just because for me personally, it's not the best mindset to be in. For others, it's perfectly fine. But for me, I will get really sucked into numbers if I keep doing it. So my goal is to just continue to be passionate about The Sims and continue to share that love of The Sims with you guys. Andrian Gord asks, what is your favorite Sims 4 pack? Now, if this is asking about game stuff and expansion packs, it's going to be really hard, but I think right off the bat, like Cats and Dogs and Seasons are probably two of my favorite packs. I also love Parenthood. I am a family game player, if you want to say that. I really, really like family gameplay, so I would say that those are like my three kind of favorite packs. And then Dakota asks, are you married? I am. I got married in October. So when this question was asked, I was maybe not married, but now I am. I am married, yes. K2323 asks, or says, and then asks, I totally respect if you don't want to answer this, but I'm really curious what different size channels earn from their ad revenue. So I really have no clue. Everyone's channel is different. Everyone's content is different. However, there is a site called Social Blade. So if you want to look anyone up and kind of see what the revenue ranges, that might be helpful, but I would say it really depends. So it's kind of a hard question to answer. My other question is, what is your video editing process? So what I do is I pull in all of like my intro video snippets. I'm like looking at them over here right now. I pull those in and I immediately set it to 60 frames per second because I want it to be as high quality as possible. And then I just pull in all of the separate recordings that I have of a build. I trim back stuff that maybe isn't that interesting, like bathrooms. I add transitions, find music, and then put it all together. If I'm going to put it in very simple terms, that is how I do it. Tessa asks, your favorite item in build mode? That is very hard. I think my favorite item is that freaking plant from Dine Out. You guys already know which one I'm talking about. That thing fits in any corner you need it to. It is a lifesaver. It's one of the best plants I think we have in game, and that is what I'm going to stick with. Amelia asks, where are you from and what's your favorite Sims 4 pack? I already answered the Sims 4 pack question, but I am originally from New England. I'm not going to get more specific than that just because I value my privacy, but I am from New England, and if you hear an accent, you are probably hearing correctly. I don't think I have one, but a lot of people say that I have an accent. But yeah, I'm from New England. Trees Rule asks, are you a morning person or a night owl? I love that question. I am a night owl. I have never been a morning person. I legitimately hate waking up in the morning. I hate it. I hate it so much. No matter when I go to bed, no matter when my alarm is set, I am not energized in the morning. I feel like death more often than not. So I'm definitely a night owl. I start to get really, like I get the creative juices flowing at night and I start to get really productive. But then I start getting tired and I know I have to go to sleep because I have to, get up for work and be an adult and all that stuff that I didn't ask to happen. But yeah, I'm definitely a night person. Period Sis asks, when did you start building your amazing builds and are you happy with the new update? I started building in, I think February of 2018? 2019? I can't even remember right now. I have the date on my YouTube channel that I even started the channel. So whenever that happened, it was like maybe April 2019. And I started building a couple months before that. I actually had never ever built in any of the other Sims games. I would always just play in the houses that came with the game, thought they were great, had no qualms. I might put more furniture in or something like that, but I had never built in The Sims 4 either. When I got the game, when it came out, I was just playing in the EA houses and adding furniture. I didn't know how to build at all. Some of my first builds were literally horrible, but we all start somewhere. Oh, and am I happy with the latest update? I think at this point, it's probably a little out of date. I'm not happy with the latest update because there are a lot of routing issues and glitches and stuff like that. But overall, I like it, I guess. Sim Sadie has a few questions. She asked, when you first started YouTube, who was your favorite other speed build creator on YouTube? Ooh, I can't even remember who I used to watch all the time. There was like one creator that I used to watch all the dang time. And it was the very first speed build I think that I even came across, and I didn't even know what speed builds were because I hadn't been building that long. And all of a sudden, I was watching a speed build, I was at work, and one of my coworkers looked over my shoulder and was like, why is she watching like sped up HGTV? And then I just started looking up speed build, and everyone on the planet came up. So I don't even remember who it was, but they were really talented, whoever they were. SimSadie also asked, where do you get your inspiration and what advice would you give to someone who's trying to get better at building? I get a lot of inspiration from other builders. That's where I actually got a lot of inspiration from at first, was seeing how other people really use the tools. So it wasn't so much inspiration for, I don't know, styles of homes or what to build. It was really how to use the tools because they seem very straightforward, but there are some really cool things that you can do that I've learned over the past like year and a half, 2 years. So I think really watching other builders on how to use the tools and what cheats to use, all that stuff. I didn't know anything. But for actual inspiration for builds, I use Pinterest a lot. I use Pinterest, I use architecturedesign.com, I believe is what it is. And those are the two main sources. I don't really Google things, but I'd say Pinterest and Architectural Designs are two of the sites that I use a lot. And advice to give someone who is trying to get better at building, just keep practicing. Just keep doing it, keep practicing, and don't let anyone discourage you from doing that, because it is a learning process. And you know what? Let's just be honest. Some people have this innate talent to create like incredible things. I myself, like, I can't create fantasy worlds, and I'm not very creative with using objects in ways that they're not intended to be used. You know what I mean? Like people that use tool mod, I can't picture things like that. So there are people that just have this mindset and like this creativity that knows no bounds. So don't let anyone else's talent encourage you that you don't have any, or fool you into thinking that you don't have any talent or that you don't have any creativity. Anything that you make, if it is made with passion, I personally think it's beautiful. So don't let anyone discourage you. I would just say keep practicing, keep trying, try new things. Sometimes work on a build, come back to it later. You might love it, even though you hated it when you left. And just be patient and kind to yourself, because I used to get very frustrated with myself for making things that looked terrible. And I was like, why can't I make something look good? And then it really just took time and practice. Kaisley Hates Green Beans asks, pretty sure you said you do something with law. I do not. That is wrong. I'm sorry. So I'm not into any kind of law. And then they also ask, how old are you? Are you married? Do you have babies? I don't have babies. I am married and I am 29. Wait, am I 29? I'm 28. I think I'm 28. I'm almost 30. That's what I keep saying. And my favorite color is yellow. I love yellow. That is my favorite color. It's the color of sunshine, and it makes me happy. Principally, I can't pronounce your name. I am sorry. But you had tons of questions, so I'm just going to scan them real quick because I know I already answered some of the others. But one of them is, will you ever do a sort of fixer-upper series? Will you ever do more challenge-based videos or challenge-based build videos? They are pretty fun. I've done a few of them. I think it was me getting used to being on camera more, which is still pretty awkward. But me getting used to being on camera and kind of learning how to edit videos like that, you know what I mean? To make them really engaging and kind of move quickly. That's still kind of new to me, so I haven't been doing a lot of them lately, but I would definitely consider doing more in the future. What's your favorite game DLC to ever come out of the Sims franchise? Basically the Sims 2 version of Get to Work. Open for Business, that was so good. And the Sims 1, like the original Sims game, the vacation one was really good. Same with like the Sims 3. The vacation one was really, really good. I think it was World Adventures. That one was great. I loved those. And Sims 3 Generations, special place in my heart. I keep hoping that we are going to get a Generations pack for the Sims 4. Parenthood wasn't meant to be Generations. I think it's a great game pack, but if we could basically get the Sims 3 Generations and the Sims 4, I would be so happy. Oh, I like this question, and I almost have to time myself. If you could say one thing to your subscribers in 10 seconds, what would it be? Okay, ready? Go. Hi, I love you. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. I cannot believe that you are here. You have absolutely changed my life. And if I'm not counting correctly, but also just know that I love you and I really appreciate your support. And that's all I have to say. Bye. That's what I came up with in 10 seconds. I hope you guys enjoyed it. What Sims 4 trait do you think suits you the most? I would probably say loner. Loner. I may seem very social and outgoing, but I am actually quite shy. And I very much enjoy being by myself most of the time, so I would actually say loner. And last but not least, Abril asks, if you could only use one stuff pack from now on, which one would it be and why? Ooh, I think it would probably be either the toddler stuff pack or the kids room stuff pack, mainly because I'm a family gameplayer. Like, that is how I play the game. So those packs have been really beneficial to me. But a pack that is very underrated, a stuff pack, is the Moschino stuff pack. I use those windows a lot more than I thought I would. And I actually really like a lot of the other items that are in the Build By catalog versus Create a Sim. And then, what is your favorite style for interior designing? I don't know. I really like the rustic farmhouse look. We don't have too much that kind of ties into that in The Sims, but I just want things to be really cozy and warm and welcoming and bright. I mean, bright meaning not pastel colors. I don't really like pastel colors that much, but I would say just really kind of rustic and cozy. That's my vibe. Well, that is it for the 20K Q&A or 21K Q&A, whatever we want to call it. But thank you guys so much for the questions and for bearing with me as I tried to like collect all of the questions and get this together finally. You know, actually had a day where I was wearing makeup and could film this successfully. But thank you guys so much for your support and for sending in all these questions. And I really hope you enjoyed the speed build as well. And I'll catch you next time I post a video. Bye.
Walk with me. Let's leave the past behind. Walk with me. There's something else we need to find. Say you'll go, don't make me wait. There's no need to hesitate. Let's make footprints in sand. Let's make miracles. Come hold my hand. Let's find something new, me and you. Blue is the sky, like the color